Hi there and welcome to Luminosity TV. My name is Sylvia Machete. This month for me is all about love. Love for ourselves, love for our body, and how to better connect it through our health and the food that we eat. If you're not a major foodie like me, you won't understand it. Food is a life source. It impacts every area of our lives, whether we are aware of it or not. It goes beyond just filling our stomachs and satisfying our cravings. It goes beyond that fine dining and those expensive bottles of champagne. Nah, food is way more than that. During celebrations, food brings us together. There's always laughter, there's always happiness, there's always that good vibe, which is a good thing. In times of sickness, food acts as medicine to heal and to regenerate a weak body. So the food we choose to eat affects every level of our being. It's a major factor in the vibrancy, the vitality, and the free expression of our spirit on our journey with this body. We now know that food that comes from the land of your birth is ever more nourishing for you than from anywhere else. So if you know me, you now see why I don't joke with my Nigerian foods. But food is not just what we eat, it's what we feel, it's what we think, what we are feeding ourselves spiritually, and how we are using the energy supply to serve us positively or negatively. This means that even the people who cook your food, those who feed you, those who grow your food, their energy, their vibration, their knowledge, their emotions, the care and the quality of the food that they're producing, all of this goes into your dish. Our so-called modern life can be so stressful, all that hustle and bustle. So we're always eating on the go and just grabbing anything that we can find without actually giving it any thought. When I was younger, I used to say I'm on a seafood diet. It means whatever I see, I eat. How many of us slow down to eat so that in the moment we are consciously grateful for the opportunity to nourish our bodies? But have you noticed these days that the food has no life force, no intent to nourish? They are always mass produced for the purpose of just stimulating our senses and getting us to consume more and more, whilst giving us no nutrients, no minerals, and absolutely no love in it. Remember how everyone's mom was the best cook in the world? It wasn't because my mom was the master chef, but it was simply because she prepared every meal with love, with compassion. Our food today, unfortunately, is not full of love. It's full of everything else that's bad for our health, that lowers our vibration and frequency, meaning that we're walking around like zombies, unable to tap into our full human potential. The spirit is barely able to animate itself using a body that's not pure, that is not in its natural state. Remember that chocolate eating monkey I talked about last week? Well, it ended up not being a monkey after all. The result is that we have become overfed and yet undernourished. How does that affect our health? Well, I was just saying the other day that lately I don't know anyone, especially women over the age of 35, and maybe even some men as well, who can go through an entire month without complaining about one health issue or the other. Headaches, stomach aches, blood pressure, blood sugar, I can't sleep at night, aches and pains. Our health issues range from mild to average to chronic to even bedridden. And it's got nothing to do with our age anymore, because more and more young people are complaining as well. We are the biggest generation of sick people, despite all of our advanced technology. How often is it that we say that health is wealth? But how do we ensure that we are staying wealthy, health-wise? It's the one thing that must not be compromised. No doubt you've had one of those days where you can't get out of bed because your body has picked the wrong day to run down, and it's always a day that you're not ready for it. Those moments make you realize that there's nothing like good health. You are what you eat is an old saying that you're no doubt familiar with, but have you ever wondered how much truth lies there? Depending on what you eat, the composition of your blood radiation changes. Your energy and vibration changes, and it affects your spirit and how it's able to animate itself. When the body is weak from eating all of the wrong foods, over time, your blood is no longer able to produce that strong vibrations or that strong radiation that you need. Your body heat is missing. That power is gone compared to when you were more vibrant. And with that comes numerous health issues that we're experiencing these days. I wonder why, but it's pretty obvious. We eat mainly for the aesthetics. The way we look in the eyes of others. Ooh, she's slim. Ooh, she looks good. So we follow diets and fads and trends. There's a new one every week, from vegan to keto to paleo, and we often deprive ourselves of vital nutrients for our body because we're desperately trying to look a certain way. But we never trouble to understand how these diets affect us. Good health goes beyond the outside appearance. It's an overall well-being. I'm learning that now the hard way. Is your spirit working harmoniously with your body? Does it feel connected to it? Or do you just look slim or have muscles because society says that's what you need to look good? I'm sure you've heard of someone who looked fit as a fiddle, exercised all his life and presumably ate well, but still ended up with a heart attack at age 45. Caring for the body the right way is a must. We are so fixated on food as good or bad, or whether it would make you slim or fat. But beyond this level of understanding, there's no deeper meaning to the way people eat or why they eat, especially when they listen to advice from scientists and doctors and health gurus and social media influencers who have no clue themselves. We do not eat intentionally. We eat without conscious thought as to what the food is doing in our body, beyond just the taste in our mouth. And all because we have become so disconnected from the natural world and where our food comes from, where our body comes from the love of our Creator. We have somehow come to a point in the human experience where we no longer intuitively know what is right for us to eat. Why are we the only species on earth to have this problem? There's not a single animal that lives in its natural habitat that is overweight or suffering from a chronic illness, unless it was caused by a human being from overfeeding it. They just know what to eat and when to stop. They are in touch with their nature, and that drives their food choices. And because of that, they thrive. The increase in diabetes, heart attacks, obesity, and all of that is a sign of how far we've come away from our natural state. So how does this all link up to our spirituality? The answer is simple. We are not eating real food anymore. We are not eating food with love. The problem we now face is that overindulgence in chemically produced substances that we now call food, rather than going natural, which is what we require the most. Our ancestors considered food to be a sacred offering to the temple, and that temple is our physical body. They appreciated food as it was a gift from Mother Nature to be used to build that temple within through the most pure and abundant resources on earth, from the earth itself. And if we fail to return back to that simple and natural way, and we continue to fuel our body with all the toxic food, we will struggle to bridge that gap between the body and the spirit, and we will forever remain in those lower states of consciousness. All this talk about food is making me very hungry. So until next time, let's start by taking baby steps towards reintroducing ourselves to the simple reason why we eat. which is to nourish our bodies with the gift from nature, so that for as long as we can maintain that harmonious balance between our body, our mind, and our spirit. That would surely be on top of the list for how we show love to ourselves. So go on, eat consciously, and show yourself some love. Bye for now.